channel if you're new. My name is n1ggaz and what is the Bomba Tea? What's up? Subscribe, will ya? Okay, guys. What's up? We are back. Hope you guys are enjoying your week. Hope you guys, we're actually just going to be up on like a Monday. So hopefully, guys, this week has started off good. Yeah. I just want to say thank you guys so much for the responses and the interactions of the last video. I do not think, I was kind of hoping that I would do good, do you know what I mean? But it's been my best performing video so far since me being consistent. So I'm really like gassed, and I just want to say thank you guys so much, especially all the women out there that have shown me love and support and like have told me that they've related so much. We're in this together. So yeah. Obviously, if you can tell by the title, I don't know what I'm going to call it just yet, but this is for my melanated folk. If you are not a part of the melanated community, I would kindly suggest you can watch it. You can still watch it. I would suggest you subscribe and you still like the video, but you can watch my other videos. This video is specifically for my melanated folk and melanated folk only. Because we need to talk. We need to have a conversation because I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of us. And I'm going to say us because obviously I'm a part of the melanated folk too. But I'm tired of the way our community is. I'm tired of the way it's structured. I'm tired of how we've been operating. Even though, obviously I'm not going to be a coon, and I'm going to be like, you know, a lot of the reason why our community is the way it is because of the past and the shit that has happened to us. But baby, it's been a good couple years now. It's been a good couple 100 years now. And I genuinely feel like the time is now for us to actually start putting in the work to rebuild our community and structure our community up and get to a healthy, functioning place. So sit back, relax, get your notepads out, get your brains thinking, and let's go. If you have me on Snap, I feel like I say this all the time. And you know what? I love this saying. And it's a saying that I will forever keep saying until the day I perish from this earth. And that is the lack of logical and critical thinking skills is a disease. A disease. I repeat, on some Dr. Umar shit, the lack of logical and critical thinking skills is a disease in the Black community. And I'm very fearful for my people. I say this so many times, especially on my Snapchat, but I generally feel like the lack of logical and critical thinking skills, it has perpetrated our... Oh, look at me and my big words. She's a scholar. But anyways, yeah, has perpetrated our community and has fucked us up in so many ways. And you know what? I'm here to bring sense back into common sense. You know when they say common sense isn't common? I'm here to make it more common. I'm here to bring it back into our people them so that people can actually start collecting their senses again. But like I said, it's not all entirely our fault because obviously a lot of it is the white man's doing. So I get why shit is the way it is. But maybe we need to start evolving. I feel like as a community, we're so stuck in the past. Now this is a really good segue as well to what I want to talk about as well. But I feel like... Actually, and I've talked about this with so many other people as well that have agreed with me. And I just feel like as a community, we fall prey to victim mentality. I feel like the Black community is their own biggest enemy. And I think we fall heavily to victim mentality. And I say that... Oh my God, I don't know if I can say all of this, man, because the shit that I have in my mind that I want to talk about, it's... The controversy is gonna be real. Niggas gonna be on the comment saying she's a coon. But not even just that. I just feel like, okay, a big thing for me I've seen and I've noticed lately is, and why I feel the way I feel is because of the language that we use and the language that we attach ourselves to as a community. I remember because I saw on her story that somebody was, I don't know what they were talking about specifically, but there was a specific line that somebody like wrote to her that triggered me so much because it just emphasized what I'm about to say. And they were talking about how like, oh, the line was, oh, like no matter how hard we try, nothing will, like, no matter how hard we try, things will forever be the same, or a situation will ever be the same. I don't know how I'm just paraphrasing anyway. But that line irritated me so much, because in my brain, I'm like, as Black people, what have we actually done? Like, what have we actually structurally done to benefit ourselves and to evolve our community and to grow our community? Without the permission of the white man. Emphasis on without the white man giving us handouts. What have we actually done as a community to grow our own selves? And because I don't know where I got this from, but I intake a lot of information and I intake a lot of content on a daily basis. So I learned a lot from all different sources. But I remember I stumbled upon this, let's say, saying or something like that back in the past, and it was like, how can you expect your oppressor to stop oppressing you when them oppressing you is benefiting them? And that stuck to me so much, because I'm like, oh shit, that's so true. Like, okay, let's say, okay, like if I'm abusing you, right? And I know I'm abusing you, and me abusing you is benefiting me, whether that's financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever the fuck, it's benefiting me. I'm gaining from it in some way, shape, or form. Why the fuck would I stop abusing you? Or why the fuck would I make it aware? Or why the fuck would I make it known that I'm abusing you? Do you know what I mean? Or why would I give you any power for you to break away from my abuse when that puts me at risk and that endangers me more than anything? So when you put it in the context of how our society is run now, as Black people, we're asking for rights as human beings. Shouldn't every human being have the decency of being able to walk on the street without thinking that, oh, they're going to get shot any minute now, or being able to go into a shop without having to look over their shoulder every 5 fucking seconds because they're thinking that somebody's thinking that they're stealing, or being able to just walk down the road like a normal human being without people looking at you and crossing the road because they feel like you're going to attack them. Like, things like that should just be normal, that should be treated with respect and dignity, that we don't have the privilege to. That you're asking for these basic necessities as a human being from the same people that took it from you, because them taking it from you is benefiting them. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And we could even go to the LGBT community as well. Like, this also goes for them too, because it's like, yeah, this also goes for them too. If you want to use your brain to go into that, you can use your brain to go into that. But I definitely want to have a whole conversation about that on my podcast. But yeah. So I just feel like, as a community, we need to stop asking for handouts. We need to stop asking other races, other communities, other outside sources to help us when we're not even helping ourselves. How can you expect next man to help you when you're not even helping yourself? We need to start putting ourselves first as individuals and as a collective. Do you know what I mean? Because when you're able to now put yourself first and put your own people first, then our foundation will be more solid, and then we'll be able to help other people. Do you know what I mean? And it would make sense on why, like, our actual homeland country is suffering the way it's suffering. Niggas are out here doing an absolute madness, knowing that the foundation of the country is fucked up, but everyone is so for themselves, but in a way that isn't even actually benefiting them. You're putting your own self at risk. You're selling yourself out to the same people that put you in that situation to sell yourself out. It's a constant cycle that I feel like people aren't aware of. And back to even what I was saying about the whole the language that we use to attach ourselves with how we are working right now. I don't like. Okay, I have a problem with the whole terminology or the whole labeling ourselves as the minority. I remember I was having this conversation with somebody. I have a lot of conversations. I don't remember who I'd be talking to about this type of stuff. But I remember I was having this conversation with somebody about it, that I hate the fact that us as Black people were labeled as the minority. And obviously somebody, like the other person I was talking to, was saying how, like, oh, the only reason why we're labeled that is because, like, in the West, compared, like, the numbers comparing the Black people to, like, everybody else is like there's a far significant gap in the numbers. And when they said that, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But the way I see it, but that's also why I say the mindset as well. The way you see things and perspective also changes a lot when you're able to see things from a different light. The way I see it, anyways, it's like, okay, granted, yeah, in the West, our numbers, let me just say in Ireland specifically, our numbers compared to white people or non-melanated people, let me just say, is far different. It's far significant. Do you know what I mean? But bro, if you're able to deep it, as Black people alone, there is a whole continent filled, as in, what's another word for filled? As in, I don't know, but filled with Black people, melanated people, colored people in it. Now let's also remember that Africa is a continent, not a country. And do you know what? Actually, hold on a second. Scratch that. Pause for a second. I find it so crazy how there's people out here, grown folk out here, that don't realize that Africa is a continent and not a country. The level of ignorance is so real, and I find it hilarious. I'll be so real. Like, the interactions I've had with certain, like, Caucasians, right? That they be like, oh yeah, are you from Africa? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, how's Africa? What's Africa looking like? I'm like, bro, where in Africa are you being specific? Because there's a plethora of countries in Africa. There's like, what, 54 or something like that? There's a lot of countries in Africa. What place are you specific about? Like, I'm from Nigeria specifically, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I just find it so funny how people don't realize that Africa is a continent, not a country. But anyways, moving on. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, there's a whole continent filled with us. Let alone the West, let alone Europe, let alone Asia, let alone America. Bro, I don't even know if there's one country on this planet that you cannot find a Black person in. I'll be so real. Like, if there is, let me know in the comments. But I genuinely don't think that there's not one country in this world, on this planet, that you cannot find a Black person in. And when you're able to look at it in that type of way, how the fuck are we called a minority? I genuinely, and this is my genuine, honest, true and belief, I feel like the fact that we're labeled that minority is a psychological thing. Because if somebody's here telling you that, like, oh, because it's really down to a psychological thing. Because it's like, in a way, you're seen as less than. And it's like, oh, well, your numbers aren't compared to our numbers. So a normal human being working brain would obviously understand that, like, in the West, in certain countries, there's going to be obviously more white people than Black people because obviously a lot of the times, because obviously, hello, from history, a lot of us had to migrate or immigrate, I don't know what the English is, to here because our actual home country is fucked up because of your doing. Do you get what I mean? So obviously, any person with a working brain would know that there's more white people than Black people. So then, what's your aim with calling us a minority for what? And as Black people that we're also attaching ourselves with that word, I just think it's doing us more harm than good. Because we're fighting a fight that does not even need to be fought. When in all aspects of life, we've been them bitches. We've been them niggas. Do you know what I mean? We've been that bitch. Like, so I don't know. I just feel like the way we see things and our mindset on certain words and certain terminologies that we attach ourselves to needs to be switched. Because I feel like a lot of the things that we label ourselves, that's the word. I feel like a lot of things that we label ourselves is doing us more harm than good. Because a lot of the terms that we label ourselves isn't even coming from us. It's coming from outside sources that are giving us these labels with a certain agenda attached to it. They know why they are calling us this. They know why they are giving us these words and these labels, and there's an actual agenda attached to it. And I feel like because a lot of Black folk aren't aware of that agenda, you're just accepting it, not realizing that's actually doing more harm than good within our community. And I feel like, and hence why I said, full circle. Hence why I said that the lack of logical and critical thinking skills is a disease in our community, because I feel like our community in itself is so ignorant to actually going out and learning about these learning about learning about why we're in this place that we're in now in society, why history has manifested the way it has for us in our society, with our society, with our community, and why and how we're playing a role in the way our human race is now. Obviously, I can preach to you guys all day long and tell you why and all this, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you're better off doing your own research. I'd rather people actually go out and find the information themselves and actually go and learn the information themselves, because I can talk all day long, but if you aren't in that headspace to actually want to receive and actually want to learn and actually want to comprehend and take in what you're hearing, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. Do you get what I mean? So I would rather recommend and preach all my Black folk to actually go and learn, go and do your research, go and actually the information is out there. Even things like astrology, why astrology has been so demonized within our community, why spirituality, why certain practices and certain ways of thinking and certain preachers, even things like financial literacy, things like that, and why it's been so, what's the word? I don't know what word I can use. Why it's been... What's the English? Why it's been hidden. What the fuck? Why it's been hidden, or why it's been purposefully not taught and passed within our community, and the knowledge that is used to actually benefit communities, why it's not a fundamental structured thing in our community, is for a reason. There's an agenda to everything, bro. Even the reason why astrology is the way it is and why people have such a skewed mindset on it is for a reason. Go and do your research. Everything is fucking connected. And that's what I was saying. I can go and preach all day fucking long to you guys, but at the end of the day, if you aren't in the headspace to actually want to learn and comprehend, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So I would say go and do your research. The information is out there. Books, Google, YouTube. Like, bro, we are in the age of information. Technology is growing at an exponential rate. Go and learn. Go and broaden your knowledge. I'm telling you, the shit that they have been keeping from us and from our community is crazy. But smart. I won't even lie. Them niggas are smart. They know what the fuck they were doing. But that's why I want to make this video now. Because I just feel like as Black people, we need to stop being so fucking ignorant, and we need to stop being our own worst enemies. So yeah, go fucking learn. Obviously, I'm gonna talk a lot more in depth on the stuff that I've learned and the knowledge that I've built up myself as time goes on, especially on my podcast episode, on my podcast side of things. So just stay tuned, subscribe, like, share, comments, because I'm gonna give you guys the motherfucking tea. The tea is hot and I'm ready to spill it. So stay fucking tuned. Okay, so obviously I've been talking about a lot of our downfalls as a society, as a community. I want to mainly talk about the things that I actually want to start seeing us Black people actually start doing. And actually, this idea came from Dr. Umar. I love that man, even though he's so wacky, but I love him. I love weird people, and I feel like Dr. Umar is just a brilliant specimen. Because if you actually listen to the stuff that he preaches, it's just hands down facts. Like, it's just, he's a brilliant human being. So I would really recommend everyone actually listen to him. Even though I know, like, he has some weird ass ways of expressing himself, but nobody's perfect. Like, do you know what I mean? But one thing that he said that I genuinely feel like as a community we need to start actually like working towards is building infrastructure for ourselves, because we don't have any of that. Something that he was saying was that for a functioning economy, for an economy to actually function and thrive, and like a group of people, a community to function and thrive on their own, they need 4 structures or 4 institutions. That's what he used. They need 4 institutions. I would say 5. I'm going to add another extra one because I feel like another extra one would like actually benefit a bit more. But he says 4, I said 5. And those are schools, education, banks, hospitals, supermarkets, and I would add airports, travel, all that good stuff. And those are the 5 institutions that I would say, plus his own saying, to have a structured, functioning economy. A school to teach the youth, to educate the youth, and to teach youth, educate the youth. A bank to finance the people, for money to consistently keep flowing within the community. Because please tell me, what bank do you know on this good green earth that has started, been built, and is currently ran by a black person or by a group of black people alone? I will sit here and wait. Nothing? Yeah, that's what I thought. What school do you know that has been built and is currently running by a black person and by a group of black people alone? What bank do you know that has started and been run and is currently running by black people alone? We don't know of any, because there is none. Even in Africa, even in our home country, all the shit that we are consuming and all the money that is running in our communities and in our economies isn't even coming from us. It's not even coming from us. We don't even own our own money in Africa. Oh my God, I'm congested. We don't even own our own money in Africa. And I'm going to specify in Nigeria, the money that is running through our government is not even ours. It's not even ours. And what's so crazy is that Africa, being the most resourceful continent on this planet, as in there are billions of resources on our surface, on our earth, on our ground, underneath our ground, that we could use to back up our own economy and that we could use to actually have our own economy thrive and flourish. And yet we're literally throwing our potential into the hands of what? The West? Are you fucking retarded? It makes me so irritated. And because our governments are just a pawn in the greater scheme, and the common ordinary folk aren't even aware of this information because they're so focused on just surviving. They're in this consistent survival mode that they aren't even aware that the government that is controlling, or the government that is in charge of all of them, aren't even actually in charge. They're just a pawn in this greater scheme of the West's bigger agenda. Back to what I was saying. There's an agenda for everything. The information is out there. Go and learn. those that have been born in the West on the West soil and that have gone through schooling and gone through education and have experience and are now building up their knowledge and their income and their own wealth. Use what you are being taught now to your advantage to help your people them. I'm so fucking sorry. Everyone needs to stop being like, I know, like, obviously help yourselves. I'm a big believer in if one person helps themselves and we all help each other. But I just feel like there's a greater planet at stake. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really for building yourself up so that you can also push it back into your community and push it back into your homeland and push it back where it's necessary, because our people are struggling. And I feel like for those that have been blessed with the opportunity to have these resources and have the technology and have these degrees and these connections bro, use your brain and just start doing what needs to be done. Do you know what I mean? I don't even want to say too much because I know that, like, you know, the elites and all them, man, they're smart. They know what the fuck they're doing too. They can easily take down this video because they know that your girl is on one. But just go do your research. I think that's the big thing I have to say for this video is go do your research. The information is out there. If anybody wants to talk to me because you want to learn more, hit me up. I'm down for a convo anytime, any day. Yeah. Stop being so fucking ignorant. Don't take everything that is being told for you as face value. Go do your research. Go and learn and be inquisitive. Be curious. Ask questions. And do you know what? I'm going to just drop this in just as a little controversial topic as well. But I feel like a big sector that has hindered us as Black people from being inquisitive, from being curious, from actually knowing the truth about who we are and about our past and about the power that we actually hold as a community is religion. You can come and fight me in the comments. I generally don't give two flying rats, but I feel like religion has fucked us up in so many ways. In so many ways, my nigga, in so many ways. And I know that because I've done my research. There's actually a whole ass agenda with that. But as I said, I'm not going to talk too much just yet. And I'll see you guys in the next one.